What is up, YouTube family? Thank you guys for tuning back into Wilburn Shenanigans. My name is Achad, and this is my wife. And we are back with another fantastic, crazy reaction video. Today, we are headed back into the past, the time that has passed our little lives. We are going into the greatness of old kid shows. It's crazy because I've been on this trip. I've been on Netflix watching the old 90s shows, Rocket Power, all that greatness. So I'm glad to see this video come back up because they are resurfacing the 90s. But let's dive in and let me shut up.
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet.
Ah, babies. Who doesn't love them? Oh, not me, but that's only because I'm grown now. Yeah, the only time when I liked babies was during the time when I was inside one. Wait. That's not what I meant. That sounds crazy. What I meant was when I was a literal baby myself. Like, we've all been inside babies before. Wait, hold on. That's not what I meant. When you're a baby, you don't gotta worry about nothing. Someone's already feeding you, bathing you, strolling you around on the street, cleaning the doodle out your pants. You never have any responsibilities for yourself. Being a baby is the new 80. It's awesome. And since we were babies, when we weren't sleeping or swallowing the nearest lethal object, we were playing with toys or watching the preschool shows our parents put on the TV. You know, they changed it to the children's channels, PBS, TBS, CBS, putting on the shows for us toddlers. Well, my parents didn't really do that. I would just watch whatever my siblings were watching, which was Cartoon Network and Disney Channel 99% of the time, and whatever my dad was watching. And he was not watching the most baby-friendly stuff. Like, literally, both me and my dad would fall asleep watching Friday the 13th or something on Showtime. Then at 4 a.m.
It's crazy that he bring that up because back in the day we were able to watch a lot of stuff.
Straight up corn on the channel. Not even a scene. Like, it's just a straight up corn movie. And I just stared at it. My balls were still in my stomach, so I ain't feel nothing. But when watching it, I felt like a industry baby, if you catch my drift. In short, I ain't watched that many kid shows. But when I did, I was watching what every other baby was watching. While babies nowadays are looking at their Coco Melon, we Gen Ziggers was watching classics. Classics in the making. The children's programming from back in the day of our babyhoods were some of the greatest, educating us kids on valuable lessons like go brush your teeth or don't be an ass. And I wanted to use the Wayback Machine and reminisce on the very simple times of watching baby shows, talk on how some of them were great.
I used to see it, but I never watched it.
Now some of them were the back door to my nightmares. But I'm gonna save that for the end. I'm gonna start this off with a channel that we're all familiar with, Disney Junior. Now, I'm not gonna show that much footage because
Junior.
but I remember when this channel became a thing.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was like,
I forgot about
8 years old enough to realize the meaning of my existence, but not old enough to have common sense. So I still needed this educational channels. But honestly, thinking about it right now, I don't think I ever watched a show to be educated before. I for real watched a lot of kids' education shows back then. And I don't think I've learned a single thing from any of them. They were teaching us stuff that we already learned at school. Why the hell I need to repeat it at me? That's why back then I barely watched kids shows that would ask you a question and wait 20 years for you to answer. It ruins my immersion of the show. I get less and less attached to the show when they hit me with fourth wall breaks. You ain't supposed to know I'm here. Like, who are you talking to? And after waiting 80 years of them just staring at you, waiting for you to answer, they just assume your answer anyway. So why'd you ask me in the first place? Wasted my time. I had goals as a kid. I had stuff to do. And this show is just wasting my time.
I forgot what half of these are called.
Anyway, I forgot Disney Junior. There were a few shows I used to always watch. I remember watching Big Bear and the Big Blue.
Yes,
I hated that one.
Honestly, this show kind of scared me as a kid because the moon. It reminded me of that molester moon emoji, and that's the most I remember from the show. And I sadly wasn't a Wiggles guy either.
Oh, I love the Wiggles.
From them. And not gonna lie, they're pretty great. I've heard a bunch of songs from them, and after hearing them, I can tell you that this is one of the greatest bands of this generation, of any generation. Every song for them makes you hype and go crazy. They're basically the Beatles if they were good. There was also Special Agent Oso, and really the only reason I attempted to watch the show was because Mr. Mosby was playing the wolf on the show, fulfilling my fantasies I had about him. But none of those shows were the main shows. The big three of my Disney Junior experience was Handy Manny, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and Little Einsteins. Not Doc Miss Stuffins. She ain't no real doctor. She can't give me my BBL. Or Sophia the First. That show's for Atlanta niggas. We all know the deal with Handy Manny. You know, Mexican dude with talking tos that can fix anything. From a boat to a...
So, like, the funny thing is, like, did you... Okay, so we were just talking about this with us. We were actually talking about my little sister. And we're like... I mean, of course it don't come off like this, but you as an adult, you think about it, I was like, wow, Hanny Manny, like, he was, you know, Hispanic, and he always fixed everything. He know how to fix everything. I'm like, dang, like, they finally made a show.
They have to get over from Bob the Builder. They had to move.
No, for real. They went from Bob the Builder to Handy Mandy. Handy Manny. And I was just like...
Chair to your accident, you name it, we fix it. The characters were fun too, you know. There was this guy who was a complete loser. He had no hairline. He lived with this cat. He was always the butt of the joke. Never had any bitches. Easily the most relatable character on the show. I also remember them adding this new character. It was a flashlight. He only spoke Minion. I don't remember what language he spoke. But they was adorable. Every time they were on screen, they was just like cute like a minion. Then the main man, Manny himself, just being a helpful, handsome guy. He had a girlfriend, at least I think that was his girlfriend. He always had everybody on his back. He was such a Chad. He was such a handsome man. He's just a dandy guy. I like him. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, an automatic classic for the opening and ending songs alone.
Hot dog,
you know that
diggity
song?
dog was
M-I-C-K-E-Y,
But that was like probably the best
M-O-U-S-E.
part.
Oh man, makes my balls hot. Especially that hot diggity dog. Look at Goofy go. Do I need to say more? The only thing I remember this show messing up on was when they gave Toodles a face and a personality.
Wait,
now he
they
can
did?
talk and he can like communicate with us. I don't want this, man.
wow.
He don't
I
need
didn't
to
notice
speak,
that.
bro. It's weird. Like look at him. He look creepy. Like if he could speak the whole time, then why didn't he say anything before? He's plotting something. I know it. And then there was Little Einsteins. I just loved it because I'm a bit of a musician
remember-
myself.
I was
You know,
smacking
I
on
can
Little
play
Einsteins.
piano.
No, but remember when Little Einstein's like, they're like, we're going on a trip, and remember when it was trending, like, and everybody was doing that? Little Einstein's was like, it
Little
was
Einsteins,
okay.
man.
It
I
wasn't
love
the
Little
best. You watched it like, you was like a big fan, or it was okay?
Trumpet,
Yeah,
the recorder, the triforce of instruments. And since I'm a musical genius, of course this show would appeal to someone like me. And honestly, I don't remember what they did on this show. Like, they had a shit, they were
I know they
talking
had a shit, but I
instruments.
don't
I
know
just
what they were
remember the song.
Dang, I think that's all I
Then I would
remember.
change it.
I just remember loving it as a kid. And that theme song, you know, that old meme,
Exactly.
My name is Cleveland Brown.
they just don't make them like that
Really?
no more. But Disney Jr. was a great entertainment and
Johnny
education
Bravo was
source
banging.
for children back
taught
then,
me how to get girls,
especially
boy.
me. But it wasn't my
Johnny Bravo
favorite.
taught me how
Moving
to
on
be
to
a
a
player.
channel that I liked more as a kid in
me how to
terms
be
of
a
baby
player.
shows, Nick Jr. Nick Jr. I have a lot more memories of as a kid,
Yeah,
even though
Nick
they had
Jr.
some
more.
dookie butt shows like Dora and the more boring Diego.
Diego.
But
Oh my
everything
God, I
else
remember
was
Diego.
pretty
Once Diego
good.
came out, I
Wonder
turned it
Pets
off.
was pretty lit, although that
Wonder
turtle could go
Pets!
chug a bottle of piss. I still hate turtles. The Backyardigans.
The
Everybody
Backyardigans,
loved
I
this
didn't watch
show.
that
And the
one.
animals,
I didn't watch
Tanisha,
Backyardigans.
Pablo, Bart, Jesse, and James. I don't remember their names, but it was such a fun show. You know, the backyard was always transforming and getting new
lit.
settings, like every single episode. I loved it. My favorite episodes were the jungle episode and the western episode. Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby,
Now,
I
got
love this.
mixed
I like it. I
feelings
don't know why I
on
was watching this.
I
though.
used to
was
watch
watching
the
I
this
love
show.
Max
a
and
lot.
Ruby.
Like, I enjoyed the show as a kid, but I didn't really like Max all that much when I was
Yeah,
young.
the
I didn't
badass.
really know any better back
was
then.
always
I
doing
just saw him making mud cakes, and I was just like, that's gross. There's worms in it, bro. Why are you making that?
We all
It
did
wasn't
that
until
as
I
a
got
kid.
older that I realized that Max was just having fun, man. He was just a young kid, just
kid.
having fun, playing with his toys, making cakes. He was just doing his thing. The real villain of this show, it was Roby. I'm not gonna get too
you
in
blaming
detail
Ruby? What
because then
Ruby do?
I'll just be stealing this guy's content. Shout out to him. But let me say this.
'Cause she
If I was in a room
bossed him
with a
around.
bow and arrow, with only 2 arrows, and there was me, Ruby. No, I don't even care who else is there. I'm gonna shoot Ruby twice. Blue's Clues was pretty cool too. You know,
I
I
love
like the
Blue's
cat.
Clues.
I like the box characters. My man Steve was drawing like Picasso
drew, like,
with just a
everything
crayon.
so
The show was
freaking
nuts
cool.
until Steve left to buy some cigarettes. What does the new Steve look like again?
Did you watch this one?
I watched
Who the
all
fuck
day.
Who is
this
that?
Peppa
Hold
Pig?
on, hold
I don't
on.
know
So
who
they
that
went
was.
through 3?
I don't know. After Steve, I was done. See, once you
Steve,
change,
oh yeah, same. I was done.
I'm
after
like,
Steve.
Dora?
So there was Steve, and then there was that guy,
Oh,
and then
okay,
it was
well,
obviously this other guy.
after Dora went Diego, nope. Blue's Clues changed
No,
Steve.
you know
Nope.
what always made me laugh? How he would draw in that notepad, and it would literally look like. How does he do that? You
He
try
was
some
good.
shit like that, it don't
Yeah,
work.
good.
I didn't really watch it
didn't
because
get
it was
Peppa.
British and
I was
Come
more
on,
of
our
a
daughter
Olivia
watch
kind
all
of guy.
But I'll admit
Peppa.
it, the Peppa Pig album is pretty fire. Like,
That was your album?
unironically, it's better than Honestly Trash.
Please
And
don't
I ain't
tell
gonna
her.
forget the GOAT, Yo, Gabba Gabba.
Neither.
I
No.
didn't really watch
turned
it
it
that
off.
much,
Yeah,
but
I
my
turned
brothers
it off.
loved it, and the characters look nice.
couldn't do
Biz
it.
Marquis is in like every episode
What?
beatboxing, and DJ Lance is so into his character in the show that he's
I
still in
couldn't
his
do it.
character over 10 years after the show ended. So that's dedication right there. But yeah, I ain't really watched the show as a kid. The most I got from it was that one episode from South Park where Fufa became a thought. That's the most I ever got from it.
Really?
What?
And
I
my
didn't know that.
personal
I
favorite
gotta
Nick
react to that.
Jr. show was Little Bill. Now,
Yes.
ignoring the controversy.
Why your boy still got the doll and the backpack from when I was a
Yes.
kid? Boy?
Okay. So funny story. One time we were cleaning out his like stuff or whatever, and like we heard like this noise, and we're like, "What the heck?" And it's Little Bill. Mind you, his mom said that they have never changed the batteries. So till this day, he has the original backpack and the original doll, and it still talks. I turned that thing off, but
I got the backpack
How
and the doll.
crazy
I wish
is
I had it
that?
here to show y'all, but I still got it. I still got it.
This show taught me
I love
so many
that.
things.
I loved Little
like
Bill.
how to talk to girls, how to ask a girl out, and the secret to
don't
getting
know about all
any
that.
girl. And thanks to this show, I can say
love
these
Little
tips
Bill.
changed my life for the better. Because of these tips, every time I move into a new home, I have to introduce myself to my female neighbors. And under state law, I basically have to tell them how good I am with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm the Riz God, all cause of Little Bill. All right, moving on from
Was that a Black
I want to talk
Caillou?
about my actual favorite shows from back when I was a kindergartner. And back then, I was a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
I love this
Thomas.
show
I
so
love
much. It's just,
I couldn't.
it's just something about him.
I love
was
Thomas.
I don't know
addicted
why.
to this
I
show.
like trains. I
action.
worked on
I
trains.
own
Wait,
no,
DVDs.
there
had
was
so many
another
train
one.
sets and toys. I
can't
even
do
wore
Thomas.
Thomas the Tank Engine undies. I was
No.
wearing.
Put the undies
I
on the
don't know
screen.
what it was called, but there was another train cartoon. I do not remember what it was called, but it was like different colors and like I forgot. I don't think it was Thomas, but I did like Thomas. I
couldn't
didn't
do
love
it.
it.
I turned it off.
Really?
I couldn't do it.
If anybody remembers it, leave it in the comments. It was
My
like
grandma
another
used to try to
train,
get me to watch
another
it.
train cartoon that it used to be back.
My
in the
grandma
day.
used to try to get me to watch it. I couldn't do it.
This man on my balls. You cannot tell me I'm a fake fan. You can't call me gay either. He's a
called me-
train.
I said, I know
Let
fake
him run a
fan.
train on me. I really do love Thomas the Tank Engine. I consider it a very big part of my babyhood. I think the reason I like this show so much was cause that it was a very chill show. Nothing would happen in your
I remember
face.
watching
the
the
conflicts
episode,
would
I do
always
remember
be in the
watching
island of Sodor with
not
the
checking it
trains
out.
doing the
I'm watching
task
Thomas
that
Train.
Sir Top and Hat would tell them to do. And then a small
Yeah, I
hiccup
can't watch
happens
Thomas
and
Train.
then they solve it, learning a lesson
get an
maybe
episode in?
in the process. Simple. It was a very simple, chill show, and I like trains. The interactions were always very sweet, and when they weren't, you know when shit was going down. But they would always make amends at the end. This was a show just trying to tell a simple story each
was.
episode. It's not like those other baby shows that would constantly break the fourth wall and just start singing out of nowhere
Right.
or asking you, do you know what 5 plus 5 is?
I couldn't stand when they start singing out of nowhere. I hate anything when. Ugh. Right.
My
that.
favorite color green. Like, bro, go lick my nut and gargle, bro. I hate shows like that.
Exactly.
Sometimes us kids just want to be entertained like the grown-ups. We don't want to get constantly talked down to in shows. We already get enough of that in real life. Why would we want that in our entertainment? And Thomas did have learning segments where they would ask us kids questions.
I don't
But it would be
remember.
in between episodes. Not the actual episode would have it. It would never
Exactly.
get in the way of the actual
in the
plot of the
episode, like, that's
episode.
all
This
that.
is why I kind of liked Arthur as a kid too. Because
I
it
loved
ain't
Arthur.
interrupt you in
Like,
the
I watched
middle of
Arthur
the
fake
episode with
I was
random
fake.
questions.
You
We
gonna
was
call
just
me fake like
enjoying
you said?
ourselves, learning not to swear, and definitely not wanting to learn how to knit.
No, I'm not a knitter.
Arthur was great. I still don't understand that racism episode though. I thought it was just animals in this universe, but black people exist too apparently and get unfair treatment from the police. But there was no other races that were mentioned, so is it the animals that are the ones being racist? Is it just black people and animals in this universe? What does an interracial baby look like? Okay, I'm gonna stop asking questions. Back to Thomas. I also love how the show only has a narrator. Narrating and doing every voice in the show. I loved it. It made the show feel more common and soothing. I even remember when Alec Baldwin was the narrator for season 5. He was great too. You just had to wear a bulletproof vest every time you watched the show. Not to mention
That's
the music.
right.
It's out of this world. It has no reason to being that great. And it wasn't just a few good ones here and there, you know, a few good bops. No. Every single one. I'm serious too. Every song sounds like it could be one of those classic Disney songs from back in the day. They just are so catchy and so good to sing along to. And accidents will happen. One of the greatest songs of all time. Top 100. Not even fibbing.
Why do you
Listen
gotta
to
go
it
on
yourself.
this? I'm
It's
done.
like in 1984 when the show was created. The music team for this show was like, yo, let's only drop classics for the next 20 years. Like we're Kanye West or something. And the whole team responded, who the hell is Kanye West? But they did it anyway. These guys deserve all the Grammys. And that iconic intro, nobody has forgotten that. This is genuinely one of the greatest kid shows of all time. The amount of nostalgia and pure bliss and joy I get from this
I gotta
show.
watch it now.
Oh
See,
man,
he
it cannot be
hyping it up.
matched. This show is
He hyping it.
amazing.
I gotta go watch
It is fantastic. Or should I say, was. Because as soon as they went CGI, it was downhill. And only downhill. I was appalled when they switched the style. This happened back in 2009 when I was 6 turning 7. And even back then I hated it. I was all like, why are their mouths moving now? Why are the people moving? Why do they have their own voices? It changed so much. I avoided this new version every time I saw it on
You was watching the wrong one, that's
I
why.
missed it when they were
I was watching
actual
the old one.
toys and it was in reality. This is just weird. It's unnatural seeing them like this. I always hated when kids shows
Yeah,
switch their
I can't do
style
it.
just to look more modern.
they did
Just look
that.
at
We just
Bob
did
the
it.
Builder. For years he was looking good. He was looking nice because he was in stop motion.
Yes.
Look at Bob go. Woo! Okay, let's see what Bob the Builder looks like
Faithful.
now.
Now?
Check, two-belt check, hard, hot check.
That's not even Bob.
Who is this?
Who the hell is that? That is definitely not Bob. That dude's name is Bertram. That is not Bob. That is not the same man that I
That's
knew
not.
from my childhood. This is
Why would
not
they do
my
that?
Bob.
He
He
didn't mess
did
up
the
my
same
Bob.
thing with Thomas. It's horrifying. And that ain't even the worst of it. You know the music? How I said it was one of the best songs of all time. You know, it should win all the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's so ass now. Oh my goodness. They changed the whole vibes of the songs, bro. It sounds so terrible, man. It used to be a choir of kids singing, and now it's just... Listen to this.
A special day with all your friends. Seems like it will never end.
This is trash.
Yeah, it's not
Who
giving
thought
me.
of this, bro? And
like
the
you gotta
new
go
intro
play outside,
is
it's not
even
giving.
worse, man. Let's try to listen.
Let's go, go, go on a big world adventure.
So change the
This is not Thomas sounding music. This shit sound like Paw Patrol, bro.
Paw
I can't
Patrol?
believe they
It do.
massacred
It
Tony
do.
like this, bro. And this is not the reason why I wore you on my balls, man. This is not the show I used to love and
Wore
enjoy.
you on my
Stop
balls.
trying to appease to these kids and appease to me, a grown-ass man. Appeal to me. They ruined it, man. They ruined it. They really
They
turned
did.
Thomas the Tank Engine into that freaking bootleg rip-off Thomas the Tank Engine Chuggington. This is honestly one of the
I
worst
forgot
things
about
that ever
Chuggington.
happened
That's
to
the other one,
humanity.
yeah.
And since I'm over here whining about this children's show, let me talk about one final show real quick. A show that I only remember watching once in my childhood, but that one time
What is it?
alone left a scar that still remains to this day.
What?
I was in elementary school, staying up a little late one night.
Madhouse?
And on a TV, it was on Nick Jr., 24/7 baby content playing all the time. And at around midnight, this new show came on. It was called Ubbie.
I
This
never
show
watched
was a
that
hand
one.
puppet show.
Ubbie, I ain't
But
never heard of
unlike
I've never watched
Sesame
that one.
Street
I
or
thought it was
any
weird.
other hand puppet show, it was just hands.
Yeah, it was just
This
hands.
show
Yeah.
gave
I
me
ain't never
so.
heard of
Alright, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. The show ain't even that scary. I don't even know why I found
I
this
never
show
watched
scary
it.
as a kid. It's just hand puppets. Maybe it's their creepy eyes. I don't know. But I'm not gonna try to hype
Somebody
it up
had a
to be
show
like
with hands.
scary.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
gonna
literally
sound
the
like one of
cartoon
those
for
like
the show.
SpongeBob
That's
Theory
cartoon. That
channels
was
or
literally the whole
whatever.
show.
It's
Just
also
hands.
because this show made me
watch
raise a lot of questions. Like,
Obviously, I don't know how much, but
How do they eat? How do
Their
they
hands.
swallow their food? Where does it go?
Thank you.
How do they use the bathroom?
Thank
Do
you.
they have holes?
kids
How do
aren't
they
thinking
fight?
that.
How
I
are
am.
their eyes attached to their hands? How do they put on rings? When they high five each other, did they just kiss? Did they just have
Really?
intercourse on screen? How do they even do it in
They
this
got
universe?
some logic.
And
Look,
if
I
they
got
do
questions that
do
need to
it,
be answered.
do they
I
wear
agree with
gloves
them.
for
Answer those
protection?
questions.
So how do they wear the gloves? Wouldn't that just cover their eyes? Where do their bodies end?
There's
at that
actual
ponytail.
people in this
They know
universe.
dang well.
What do they see below their hands? How do they drive cars in this universe? What is pushing the gas pedal?
Thank
How
you.
does anything
Look
get
at the
done
hair.
in this universe? I didn't like how many questions this show had me asking. That one time I watched this show was a life-changing,
It messed him up.
threatening
I agree.
experience
I can
for
see
me
how that
as
messed you up as a child. It
And I
was
hope
crazy as a
no
child.
kid had to experience
I thought
the
it was
nightmares
stupid.
That's probably why I
did
came on late.
because
Gotta ask too many questions.
of this show.
Why does the hands talk? I agree. Leave you clueless. I'm glad I didn't experience it.
I've grown
I
a
don't
lot
know.
since I was a jit. I'm never saying that again. I've grown in hair, length, size, but most importantly, I've grown in mind. And I don't think I would be the person I am today if it weren't for these children's shows. Well, mostly only Thomas and Little Bill, but the rest were here too. If I forgot to mention a show, I just didn't watch it as a kid. That's just the way it turned out for me. I love reminiscing about old times and old childhood memories. It makes me feel less old. And since we're towards the end of the video, I did not expect this video to be as long as it is. But that just shows how dedicated I am to this topic.
brother.
And in conclusion, free Bill Cosby. It starts with one thing.
It's so funny.
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due
Popeye's
time.
biscuit.
All I know.
Does it really say Popeye's biscuit?
God, who is
So one thing, like, okay, so I don't know why, but we always like to do this. So like me and Charles, like we always talk
Dejenerocity
about
is his name.
like we'll be like, oh well, like what show did you used to watch? And so like we'll say some, and then like he'll say something like I've never heard of, or he'll be like, what are you talking about? Like me, like name some. Like I watched Harold and the Purple Crayon, Georgia Martha, Maggie the Ferocious Beast.
First of all, I'm not watching no old Georgia Martha.
Georgia Martha was
Nobody watching
amazing.
that.
What else was the one? I said Harold and Purple Crayon. What was another one? He was like an alien. I don't know. He was a green alien. I used to watch that one. I don't remember that one, but it was a green alien. And then like that robot girl, I used to watch her. And
I was on WB with Cubics and all that.
Ginger. I never cared for the Wild Thornberries. I never cared for that one.
Wild Thornberries is smacking.
I didn't care for Rugrats.
I don't. Sometimes, you know, guys, I go back on Netflix.
Can you name any of your old shows?
Hold on, let me get my statement. Sometimes I go back, y'all, and it just be back memories. It be so sad because I just be picturing myself as a child, like eating some chicken nuggets or something, watching.
Oh, I loved Zoom and Caillou and Out of the Box
It's so sad. Sometimes I don't like going back
and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
because I feel like it makes me feel old, like he said. Like I don't like going back to the 90s. He said he was born in 2000 something, so 2009. He said he was 7, I think. So he ain't even from our era.
I'm really trying to think.
So he don't feel old yet. We 93. Like that make us look like, ah, dang it. I used to watch it back in the day. It's just how times have changed.
I'm really trying to think of some other ones that I used to like, but I can't think of anymore.
I love this video though. I like the way he broke this down, like the editing and everything. It was on
Yes,
point. Like, his
that's what I
narration.
will say.
He was on
his
fire.
editing, like he literally had a picture or video for everything he said, and I
love
thought
it.
it was like some of them are actually pretty funny. Name
love
your
it.
top threes.
I don't have a top 3.
Or
That's
name-
too hard. I got too many shows.
Well, then name some.
I'm
I just
watching
named like
Rugrats,
10.
Rocket Power, Doug,
Rocket Power, no. Oh, Doug. I like Doug too.
Fairy
Hey,
Odd
Arnold.
Parents, Hey
Oh,
Arnold.
Fairy Odd Parents. I like that one too.
Really? Could you stop knocking my arm off?
I'm sorry. What else?
Break my stuff off. Hey,
Fairy Odd Parents.
Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff
Yes!
Girls. Like I was on the other stuff.
You
was
watched Powerpuff
Yeah,
Girls?
about the part of program. Mojo Jojo was smacking. What you talking
You
about?
watched Powerpuff?
I wanted him to like smack them every time. Mojo Jojo always got caught. That was
What's
my
another
dude.
one? What was another one?
Doug.
You said that one.
Did I say Doug?
Yes.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog, yes.
Courage.
Mm,
Courage was smacking.
that's whatever. I've never watched Johnny Bravo. That's
Johnny
one
Bravo
I did,
would tell me how to be a player.
I didn't know that
It
one.
taught me how
Oh,
to be a
Ed,
player.
Ed, and Eddie. I used to watch that dumb shit.
And Eddie was smacking. That's how I got. That's how I got my game.
What?
Bravo.
Johnny Bravo? I've never
Johnny Bravo had
seen
hoes.
it. Okay.
Every episode he had like 10.
Did I say Hey Arnold?
Yes. But we gonna end this video, guys, because we about
If you
to
guys
head.
could think of any that we literally have not mentioned, put it in the comments because I want to know if there's some other ones that I'm missing that I did watch and I don't remember. So put it in the comments if there's any other ones.
Let us know.
'cause, like, I want to know.
But thank y'all for tuning back in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We'll see y'all guys in our next video.